Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Treasured podcast. We got a lot of stuff to be talking about, but again, welcome to the cast. All right, I don't know what we should tackle. There's actually a lot of topics, which I'm kind of grateful for. One of the first things, actually, I want to get out of the way is a video that we saw a video that I saw on Twitter that's been going around with Asmongold talking about hard work. That nobody cares, and you shouldn't care about hard work.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
And we're gonna give our 2 cents about that stuff and just about working and putting effort and making efficiencies. And we'll give you the whole 9. But let's react to this right now and see how it is. This is a video Dexterto posted of Asmongold. Short little video. It's been going a little bit viral of Asmongold basically ripping on this kid. His name is Chris Basler. Says you're absolutely right. Even if you look at what in the world is this guy saying? Actually, I like read it the first time and I kind of like was speed reading through it and I was like, oh, okay. This said nobody actually cares about how hard you work on something. That's the Dexterto article. So this is the article again that we came across from Dexterto. They tweeted this out. It's a video of Asmongold talking about how nobody cares about how hard you work on something. Asmongold on working hard versus working smart. Now, there's a caveat between this, but we'll get to that here in just a little bit. There's a comment in the video says, you're absolutely right. Even if you look at ones, I'm not even going to try to pronounce those, that word, Touchstones, Yuma 7, that's a game that had 12 years of prior games feeding it. If you were to look at the new benchmark, then we would be focusing on creating the creating conditions, just like TikTok. Now, he's blocking a little bit of the information here. And so now, let's see what Asmongold's reaction is about this. Fair warning, we'll try to edit out and get all the bleeps going through, edit out all the language. But Asmongold uses some strong language. So fair warning right now, cover your ears, hide your kids, hide your wife.
Nobody actually cares about how hard you worked on something. Please stop caring about how hard you work. That is not a badge of honor. That is just, and oftentimes, it should be the opposite. You work too hard to achieve too little. Work smarter, not harder. What the talking about, like, we need to care about how much effort you put into it. Of course it matters to an extent, and people can appreciate the effort that is involved. But don't expect people to one-to-one value to effort. Because you can put a lot of effort into something, and it can be worth nothing. That's just how it is. Nobody actually cares about how hard you worked on something.
So now when we go to the full article, so Asmongold dropped a new take about how people are interpreting the effort while reacting to a video diving into Baldur's Gate 3 development, which is such a crazy game, to be honest, and I will not be playing it. There's a lot of things on there that I don't necessarily care about that people have been posting about. I personally have heard of Baldur's Gate 3, or just Baldur's Gate, because there's a series of it, and wasn't truly interested for a long time. But I've been seeing articles of how they're allowing you to modify certain characters, do some certain character customization, being able to do some things in games that for myself, I never had an interest, nor do I care for those things. And as soon as I heard that, just the headlines of it and a little bit of a description of it, I was just like, you know what? I'm not playing this game. So not worrying about that. But I thought it was really interesting, his take. So he was talking about, again, how hard you work on something. Baldur's Gate's been apparently in the making for a while, using a lot of things. They're putting in a lot of effort to make it a really great game. And as you guys heard, Asmongold's reaction is that it doesn't matter how hard you work. It just matters about the efficiencies. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a story of what happened with me back when I was in band. Actually, your boy actually played some band. I was honestly a phenomenal saxophone player. All my career, I had solos, and they only would give 1 solos in my bands and in my band classes. You could only have 1 person solo a certain song that they wanted you to learn. And I was so good that I either was the only one getting a solo or somebody else they were trying to develop was also to the point of being good, but not as good as me. So they had to make another solo spot because they couldn't not give me a solo spot.
I'm kind of a big deal.
That's how good I was at saxophone. After a certain little incident that happened in middle school where I got moved out of band somehow, not my choice at all, it just happened to be that way, I ended up just not playing. to be honest. So not good anymore, but that's something that I can say that I was phenomenal at. One of the moments that really defined what it meant to, one, work hard, right? These are defining moments in my life, what it kind of gave me the aspect of what it means to work hard, what it means to be efficient, and what it means to put in effort, understanding what sweat equity is, like all these things. And it all started in band, and then it progressed into football, actually. In 8th grade at my 8th grade school, the band teacher's name was Mr. Godfrey. And Mr. Godfrey was this like critically acclaimed person. That's what he would always say. He's helped and choreographed and been like the conductor from some major orchestras throughout the United States. Somehow I ended up in this ghetto middle school in Tucson. Honestly, was a phenomenal teacher. But on top of that, when we'd go to, because we went to a couple of like these band, I forget, competitions with other schools, and it literally every other band teacher was shaking in their boots because of this guy. This guy was good, and he was literally rough around the edges because he was super strict and super hard. And I remember that it was always hard to get praise from him because he knew that we were the best. So there was a test one day that came out. We had to do like all these songs in this one book that we got, and we couldn't fail. If we missed like more than a couple notes on each song, like it would deduct and eventually he would fail us. It was a pretty big test. We did a whole 2 books actually, and when it came to myself and Chris, he had us do it both at the same time. Now that was pretty significant, and we're like, well, we're really good at what we do, so we're gonna go and do it. And it was the 1 week I didn't practice, and not knowing he didn't practice either. This is what happened. We missed 2 notes out of the entire, like we missed 2 notes on 2 songs, 2 different songs. They were the like literally we both messed up on 2 songs that were identical. It was weird. I've never seen somebody get so passionately pissed. I mean, he was livid. He failed us. He just screamed, "Stop!" Threw his hat, kicked us out. We're like, holy frick, what we just do? Were we out of band? Like, what just happened? He's like, I want to talk to you guys after class. Really pissed. I'm like, I am probably doing an under reaction of how he responded. And we go out after class, and he said, you guys haven't been practicing, huh? And honestly, I wasn't. I just got so complacent of being so good. Like, I was literally that. I was him. I was him.
You are not him. You are not him.
Him energy was there. And so, in that, and the same thing with Chris. Like, we're just like together. We're parred. Like, there's nothing we could do. We were just good. We're just good. We were the duo, you know? It was what it was, you know? The first time I ever had somebody put in perspective to me what it means to, because I always say perfect or practice makes perfect. And he's like, and he got pissed. He's like, bull. He told me, perfect practice makes perfect. And I thought to myself, well, that's the whole point of learning something. Like, you can't be perfect off the rip. You have to learn something in order to then start developing the skills to be perfect at it. Well, if you learn something and you do it right, you slow down. The idea is the idea of slowing down, learning something right, and doing it right, and you practice it, then you're practicing perfect. And as you keep practicing perfect, you're able to keep speeding things up. You keep moving things along. You're able to create efficiencies. You're able to then not work as hard. You're therefore able to be more effective and efficient, effortless to say. Like, it felt like it was effortless to play the dang saxophone because of how good we were. It was amazing. And so all this combines into like, what I'm trying to isolate is what is hard work, because outside looking in, you can define hard work however you'd want to define it. It's very like a niche thing, I would say, and it just depends. At that point, even it bleeds into, I see it a lot being bled into other roles. It matters how hard you work, and it matters how effective you are. It matters your results. It matters your efficiencies, right? And it matters what type of talent you amassed through building it yourself, because people are like, you can't gain talent. No, you can. One of the things, going back to the story of my high school, one of the things that really put in perspective, and when I started competing in Call of Duty, helped me drive this down to the point I was excelling amongst very many in the competitive Call of Duty stream, the amateur team, after a little bit of hard work, getting to be better, work smarter, not harder. Yes, there's that aspect, and learning a lot of things, molding a lot of things, but I became very valuable because I kept saying in my head, and this is what my coach would always tell me. He would say, hard work will always outbeat talent when talent doesn't work hard.